Welcome back to season 3 of Oi Let's Talk. We're back, baby. Hope you guys have missed us. We have lots to catch up on. What have you been up to, Kate?
I've been up to a lot. This feels so good to be back.
I'm so excited.
It's like our second home.
Yeah.
Every time we get to record, we just get to talk lots of shit. But yeah, we're back. Season 3.
Season 3. I feel really excited about this year. I also as well have missed this, and I just feel like we have lots in store, both in our lives, for the podcast, just for the year. So I feel
So much.
honestly G'd up.
And season 3. What the fuck? We've done, this is our 3rd season of the podcast.
Feel proud of us.
I know.
Yeah.
We have yapped. I want to know how many hours we've actually yapped. Somebody needs to do the math and let me know on that, because I would love to know how many hours of us yapping in your ears you guys have sat through, because you're the real MVPs.
We appreciate you, and there's plenty more of yapping to come because the limit does not exist. It is an infinite amount of yapping, and we could talk about anything, everything forever.
Yeah.
So let's kick off. What have we been up to? Because I feel like something that we...
Christmas, New Year's.
Yeah, Christmas,
we obviously
New Year's.
took, as you guys know from the last episode, we took a month and a bit
6
off the
weeks, I reckon.
podcast, which actually was really nice.
Yeah.
As much as I love doing the podcast, I love yapping to all of you guys. It is really nice to just be completely plugged out for a little bit. Obviously, as you guys know, we both run our own businesses. We're on social media all the fucking time. We have friends, families, all the things. And actually just being able to have time with our friends and families and not have to worry about business and podcasting was really nice. Well, for me anyways.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that when you have space from things, like space from different projects or from work, it just makes it so much more enjoyable when you get back into it, just having a bit of room to do other stuff that you might have
more
neglected.
creative as well. I think sometimes, anyone who's listening who has a podcast would know, sometimes you really have to think of, okay, what the fuck are we going to talk about today?
100%.
It's not easy work. I mean, it is an easy job, but it's not easy work. So it's sometimes having that break gives you more creative outlets, and we have some really, really cool things planned.
Yeah, 100%. So getting into, what did you get up to between us finishing last time and all of January? Because now we're in Feb.
Yeah.
What have you been up to?
Yeah, day of recording. What even is the date? It's the first week of Feb.
First week.
Oh my
Which is
God.
wild.
What did I get up to? It feels like a lifetime ago. It's I have short-term memory loss and I can't remember.
Get it
We're
together.
really kicking off to a good start. Obviously Christmas, I just spend it with my family, really. It was my nephew's first Christmas, which was really exciting. So he was born on the 27th of December. So he missed Christmas last year. And we thought he was going to come for Christmas, but he didn't. So this year was really cute, just friends, family. I didn't really do much. We kind of every year, for some reason, I don't know how we kind of fell into this, host an orphan Christmas at our house, where anyone who doesn't have any of their family who live in Melbourne, or maybe they're not really close with their family, they kind of just all come to our house and we do a big friends barbecue dinner, which was really nice. So I saw my family, I saw my friends. I didn't end up seeing Aman's family because half of his family has moved to Brisbane. So we went up a little bit later on and saw them. And then New Year's, I went away for 2 weeks to Phillip Island. You came and visited for a day, which is awesome.
I have just a side note here. I have a core memory of Kate with a boogie board at Phillip Island, just living her childhood dream of just boogie boarding and having a good time. It was very wholesome.
That was so healing for me. So we went to Phillip Island for 2 weeks just with a group of friends. Every year we hire a house and we go down to Phillip Island and we just plug off and don't do any work, and it's great. And there was a big crew of us. By the time you got there, people kind of just float in and out, come for a couple of nights, whatever. And we went to a beach and we were boogie boarding, which I have not done in a long time. And little side story, I am not really a fan of water. I am so afraid of the deep, dark ocean. I nearly drowned when I was a kid. So going into water for me, I don't feel confident. I can swim, not like Gemma, but I don't feel confident in the water. So for me, I always just if I go into the ocean, I go up to my knees. You'll never see me diving into waves and things like that. And also because I always fake tan. Now, any of my pale girlies, you guys will understand the struggle. When you are really, really pale and you're super self-conscious about being super pale and you fake tanned your whole life, getting in water for me, I was I don't want to ruin my fake tan. That was always an excuse for me to not go in water, and I was a little bit scared. So this holiday, I didn't fake tan. I just had my hair slicked back in some braids and I was in those waves I was a professional fucking boogie boarder surfer. And it was the most healing experience. It was I had healed an inner child wound of mine.
You look
and
so
how
happy
was
you
I? I
looked
was
so
like, I was on
happy.
drugs.
It made me very happy to see. As a side note, just for the listeners, whoever hasn't clocked this before, I also almost drowned when I was younger at Phillip Island, which is where we were, and I can't swim. Which Kate, we've lived
We've
polar
lived parallel lives. Yeah,
lives,
it's
for
really
sure.
weird.
It's so weird. So when Kate was boogie boarding, I was hanging out by the beach. I will try to overcome this in the near future. I did try once.
And you know
lessons.
what it also was as well for years is like having weft hair extensions. So I took my hair extensions out.
100%.
Everyone always, for both of us, I feel like everyone's like, I didn't know you had hair extensions. I took them out and then being able to just go in water. I know it seems like the most trivial fucking thing, but it was honestly so healing. Like no hair extensions, no fake tan, didn't give a single fuck, was not fearful of the water, was just like having fun like I was a kid again.
Yeah.
And it was healing.
I think that's the best way to have downtime as well. Like just not have to, like there's no schedule when you're down there. You can kind of just take it as every day because we're very like routine, morning, this, time blocking. And I think that is good in doses, but it's also really good to have nothing.
Yeah, and not be worrying about like, oh, fuck, I've got to be here at this time or do this. I mean, I still stuck to my routine. Like I was still eating really good, still going for my morning walk, still hitting 10,000 steps, but it was a lot more relaxed. What about you?
Pretty much stayed around home for December, worked through but less because people were paused, people were away. And because we're renovating and we've just got things going on, we kind of just wanted to stay around home. So visited our friends down at the beach. That was really nice. I felt like I got like a good amount of time of doing random things while also kind of not being too far from home. Yeah. Because it just feels like there's a lot that we need to be home for at the moment, tradies and stuff like that. And then January, so I spoke about this last episode, which was I was doing a January challenge, which was every day in January I wanted to do the 1,000 steps straight, so every single morning. And it got to New Year's Day and that was the first thing I did in the morning. And just as a bit of a side note, I did this in 2015 in October. So 10 years ago I did it and it got to the 20th day and I randomly got tickets for Tough Mudder. So I missed one of the days and although no one else gives a fuck about this, I've been holding on to it. I was like 10 years, I really want to finish what I started and I love the steps. I like the challenge and it's just like a really beautiful place. So yeah, I woke up first thing New Year's Day, did the steps. Probably a weekend I was like, oh, this is going to be hard. And then while I was doing this, I listened to Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins for the 4th time on audiobook. And for those who know, that book will do things to you. So like, again, this was the 4th time around and there's still new things that I pick up from that book. And I got to the 2nd week of the challenge and I was like, oh, like bring it on, let's go. Like what else can I do kind of thing. So I started timing myself and trying to go faster, had friends visit, which was really nice. And I got to the end of the challenge. We raised $1,000 for a Melbourne charity that supports domestic violence.
You raised over $1,000.
Yeah, over $1,000.
Because I did look.
And I just felt so good, like so many things. I liked the physical challenge. Some people that do the steps will be like, oh, it's not that hard. And other people will say it's the hardest thing ever. So it's really much depending on where you're at and all of that. But I felt that it was a good challenge. It's also just a commitment. Like, for example, I visited Kate in January on one of the days when I had to do steps and I stayed down at Phillip Island. So the only way that I was going to be able to stay true to my commitment and visit Kate was by doing it in the morning, driving down to Phillip Island, leaving first thing the following morning, driving back. And like, I really got a lot out of just that commitment as well. So anyways, long story short, but by the end of it, I've just felt highly motivated. I just feel really locked in. I just feel like another level of resilience and I kind of just feel like ready for another challenge. So it did the best thing possible for like mindset coming into a new year.
And you're dancing over the fact that you're a Speedy Gonzalez. So the last day of the challenge, Gemma messaged me, was like, do you want to come and do the steps with me on the last day? And I just didn't reply to her text. Like I saw it and I thought in my head, yeah, cool. And then I didn't reply to it. A couple of days later, our friend Bridget messaged me, and was like, I'm thinking that we go and surprise Gemma for the last day. We'll get like all of her friends to come and we'll all go and do the steps with her. And I was like, that is the most wholesome fucking cute shit ever. So I was like, yeah, absolutely. Replied back to Gemma, like, what time are we meeting? Bridget organized this whole thing and we surprised you. Then she's like David Goggins fucking running up the steps so quick. You like obviously have learned or gotten so much pace from when you started to when you finished. You were like, and you were holding conversations. You kept trying to talk to me. I was like, brother.
I did not think I was going fast in that last day. I was holding back. I'm so sorry.
You were fast.
I think I've just become like conditioned to it because I started timing. It was 9 minutes for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like that's
9 minutes to do the whole stairs.
From the top to the bottom.
From the actual stairs.
Yeah, from the actual stairs.
You know what's actually worse than the stairs? The
stairs are not the stairs.
Yeah, the stairs are not that hard personally for me. Yeah. For a lot of people they are. They're not that challenging. There's a lot of like flat ground. There's like probably the last
bit's the worst.
Staircase is the worst.
Yep.
Yeah. But the actual walk up from the fucking car park is the hardest part.
100%.
It's like a steep hill and you're just on this steep incline the whole time.
Do you know what's so sad? So one of the days I got to the bottom of the car park, and for those who know this car park, there's 3 tiers to it. Ideally, you want to park at the top so you're the closest to that walk that Kate just said. One of the days the car park was closed.
You broke in like a little rebel.
I did. So I was like, oh no.
If you are the police listening to this, do not arrest her.
Well, I did check. It wasn't a total fire ban and there was a school group doing it. So like there was, I don't know what was going on. But anyway, it was closed.
You don't know what was going on. You clearly didn't care either because you were committed to the cause.
I just wasn't going to break my streak, right? No. I'm not breaking it again. Anyway, So I was so shattered and I'm like, what am I going to do? So I had to park even further away, up a hill, off a side street, walk down, go from the 3 tiers. It took like way longer than it needed to. And I was real stubborn about it, but I felt good that I got that done. But that was
how good do you feel that you've actually like, how many times all of us listening, even we've been victim to this, where you're like, I'm going to commit to doing a deficit, or I'm going to commit to doing a challenge, or I'm going to run 10Ks in the month of January. And then it gets 3 days in and you're like, oh, actually the little terrorists in your head take over and you just can't be bothered. Who cares? It's not that important. But the fact that you did it every single day, rain, hail, shine. I mean, you were blessed with pretty good weather.
Yeah.
But whether it was like really hot, really
I did it
cold.
in the rain a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think honestly, the biggest thing with making a commitment like this, and I would break it down into a few different key points that I think make it more achievable and also mentally to be ready to do any sort of challenge. One is the accountability piece. I told people this is what I'm doing. Now that makes you feel, that can be scary because it's like, oh no, what if I let them down? But that's good. You want people to hold you accountable. That helps you get where you're trying to get to. And also the support from other people goes a long way. So the first thing was accountability, getting other people on board. The second thing was the intent with whatever challenge it is. So for this challenge, it's not, I hope I do the steps every day. It's, I'm going to. I will. Like the way that you speak has a big impact on how committed you're going to be when it gets hard. Like when it rains, when I have to wake up at 4:30 because I wanted to do it at a certain time, otherwise I wouldn't be able to do it that day. Like it's the difference between the language that you use. And I think that this is transferable to so many things. The gym, when it gets hard, it's, you know, you might want to sleep in or you've had a busy week, but it's like, I'm going to do it. And I think that once you start clocking the language of how you attack different goals, you'll realize that you're already starting things potentially not being as committed as you might think. Like we glorify, I want this end goal. But if you're saying, oh, I hope I can get to the gym this week, oh, maybe I'll prep my meals. It's like you're already halfway out.
Yeah.
So it's like think about that before you actually say you're going to do something and see how much further it takes you.
And that mindset, like even just having that mindset that you were speaking about, it's like that's transferable into every facet of your life. Like whether you're going for a promotion at your job, whether you're, you know, starting a business, whether you're having hard conversations with friends or in relationships, or maybe you're dating, like all of that like self-discipline, positive self-talk, the way that you reframe things is going to affect your life positively in every way. And I was actually, there's this quote and it goes, everybody has a lot of problems. So it's too hard, I'm too tired, whatever, until you have one problem and that's your health. Then all of the other problems, work being too tired, life being too much, doesn't matter anymore. And I know obviously we've spoken about this with your dad, Jem, but I even think to when my mum had cancer, I don't even know if I've spoken about this on the podcast, but when my mum got breast cancer, she obviously was very unwell, but I watched her be overweight, like I would say probably obese for a lot of her life, get cancer, struggle with that. And then on the other side of cancer, she survived it, luckily, on the other side of cancer decided, you know what, that was like a wake up call for me that I need to start taking care of my health. And she lost like 30 kilos in 12 months. But like you shouldn't have to get to that point to realize that what you're doing is damaging your health.
100%. And well done, Wendy Morris.
Yeah, fucking slay.
That's amazing. We've spoken about reactive actions and how common this is. And I think it's because we're all busy. Life is busy. So some things fall to the wayside until they pop up with like a higher priority, right? So it's like we know you need to eat healthy. We know we need to move our body. Like we're not reinventing the wheel with any of the messaging that we're saying, right? We know what to do. That's not the issue. The issue is about prioritizing it, having a routine, having habits, having consistency. And I think that something that we all should be striving for is to be, the healthiest that we can be, so we're able to kind of feel our best and not wait for something bad to happen. And you've had that example that you just said. My example is my dad getting diagnosed with a terminal illness and then him being like, oh, let's sign up to the gym. It's like,
it's too late.
It was like the last 6 months and it was the saddest thing. I want to drink juices and I want to eat healthy. And we did all of that together, but I'm clocking that that's really sad, right? Because it's like your lifestyle factors leading in need to kind of be reflective of the lifestyle that you want to live. And obviously freak things can happen. People can get sick and live really healthy, but you're reducing your risk. That is fact. It's fact.
Absolutely.
So it's like if we can do those things now, it's going to make a big difference.
Yeah. Even if we're not talking about like, terminal illnesses or cancers or anything like that, it's like you just overall feel better.
You feel better. You feel amazing.
You sleep better. You're not fatigued. You're less like snappy at your fucking partner. Like so many things can come from just putting effort and energy into yourself instead of everybody else around you.
Something else I was going to say is people don't know what they don't know. So if you live at a certain level of maybe feeling groggy, getting poor sleep.
It's normal for you. Yeah.
Not really exercising, like you legitimately don't know how good your life could be. And once you move your body a bit and you've got those endorphins and you're like, fuck, I feel amazing, or you eat a bit better and maybe you used to always feel bloated and that was your norm and now you don't, whatever it is, like you honestly, if you want a different experience in life or a different feeling and you are just kind of staying where you are, you need to try different things because there's a whole world out there where everything's elevated and everything is better.
Absolutely. We did a little sidestep there, but I just want to loop back. What did you do New Year's Eve? Like, do you celebrate New Year's Eve? Because you didn't spend it with me, darling.
Whoa, what did I do?
You weren't in my house.
I was invited to your house. Our friends and their babies had a New Year's Eve barbecue. And to be honest, because everyone has babies, everyone left at 9 p.m. and then Ben and I watched Gladiator 2 and went to bed at 9 p.m. And we don't have blinds on our window at the moment because as I mentioned, we're renovating. So at midnight, I just propped up, looked at some fireworks, went back to bed, woke up at 7 to the steps. I honestly was really happy with that.
And this is 30s, girls.
This is 31. Honestly, that was perfect.
Yeah.
It was wholesome. I like doing house parties or like visiting friends for New Year's. I feel like I would not want to be in the city or anywhere that's like hectic
I
vibes.
have a trauma story.
Being stuck in like gridlock Melbourne CBD.
In the CBD. I was like 21, guys.
I did that one year as well.
This is going to paint the worst picture of me, but like you need to hold me in this moment, everyone listening, and you and Aiden.
I'll never judge you.
I went to the city for New Year's Eve once. This was like old me. This was uni Kate where I used to sleep until 11 o'clock.
Can you just watch her dig in a hole so we don't judge her?
Yeah. I was fucking lazy. I was unmotivated. I'd been diagnosed. This is the same story, right? I got diagnosed with a fucking heart condition. All I was doing was drinking on the weekends.
Nice.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, backing it up, right? So New Year's Eve, going to the city, we go to the Emerson rooftop. Anyone in Melbourne, you know.
We know.
Shit's pumping, watching the fucking fireworks from the top. Get back into the city because we decided to stay in a hotel, like a group of my friends in the city, right? Don't know why we thought that was a good idea. Gridlock in the, like you can't move. It's like sardines. We get a cabin. When we get to the border of the city, I'm like, nah, let's just get out and walk. Like this is fucked. Traffic's fucked. Walking, you're like walking like sardines, like you're shoulder to shoulder. A wave of I'm going to projectile vomit hits over me. Imagine me in a I still remember exactly what I was wearing, in a bright pink fluoro skirt.
Wait, was this bleach blonde Kate as well?
Bleach
Amazing.
blonde, bright pink fluoro skirt, tragic outfit. Projectile vomiting into a bush on the side of the road where there is sardines walking past. There is so many people watching me projectile vomit. And I just had to like double over into like the fetal position because I was so embarrassed. I wanted to die. Anyways, that's the fucking
Hard
story.
listen. But you know what? We listen and we don't judge.
I, for New Year's, just very quickly, this year was very wholesome. I sang karaoke in the lounge room till 2 a.m. with Amand and all of my close friends, and it was really fun. And then we went to bed and woke up. I felt a little hungover because I don't drink.
Yeah.
I didn't drink a lot, but I don't drink normally. So I felt like a bit slower the next day, but like still got up, went for a beach walk, got a coffee.
Love that.
Cleaned the house up. It was great.
I'm committing to this year. We're spending New Year's together.
Yeah, I
it's
actually
been
just
2 or
think
3.
it's so rude.
It's actually so rude.
We've never spent New Year's together, and we've been friends for nearly coming on 4 years, I think.
That's pretty wild and also very rude.
And not even friends. I said friends. I'd say best friends.
Best friends that don't hang out, apparently.
All right, we are going to wrap this episode up here. Otherwise, I can feel we're already getting silly. The silliness is taking over, and it's been not even 20 minutes. If you guys enjoyed this episode and you're excited for season 3, don't forget to rate this podcast 5 stars. You can watch us over on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. You can actually just sit down and grab a coffee and watch us on YouTube and
Join along,
watching me imitate how I was projectile vomiting. That's great. Anyways, we love you guys. Bye.
Love you. Bye.